Hey guys, this is Hayden from Patrick Craig Academy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about unnecessary commas. For those of you following along in your packet, this is coming from the punctuation packet and the lesson starts on page 7. So, there are many places that we know you do need to use a comma. Today we are going to be talking about those places that you never put a comma, no matter how tempting. And when in doubt, just remember that a comma is adding a pause to the sentence, a pause in your reading, writing, whatever. So if it sounds like there shouldn't be a pause there, then there probably shouldn't be one. But let's learn the logistics so hopefully it doesn't come down to just listening to what sounds right. First place you never want to put a comma is between a subject and a verb. In this sentence, we have John walked to the store. That's how we read it. We wouldn't read John walked to the store, so don't put a comma between our subject, John, and our verb, walked. Number 2, between a verb and its object. Katie threw the ball. We wouldn't say the sentence like that. We don't need that pause. It's just Katie threw the ball. So our direct object of ball and our verb of threw don't need anything in between them. Same thing with the preposition and its object. Prepositional phrases are little bubbles of their own, and you never want to pop a prepositional phrase by putting anything in there, especially a comma. So here we have John walked to the store. That's all it is. You wouldn't say John walked to the store. Don't put anything inside that prepositional phrase. Or even between prepositional phrases. This is where a lot of people get confused, because in this sentence it's pretty easy to see, well, we just got John walked over the hill to the store. If I said John walked over the hill to the store with his brother under the bridge to go to another store too, or anything like that, I can keep tacking on those prepositional phrases, and you're just not going to put any commas between those. Just remember that, no matter how unnatural it might feel. And the last place is before a prepositional phrase at the end of an independent clause. So in this sentence, we have our independent clause, she made no noise as she trotted through the snow. This is that same thing. You don't want to put a comma before a prepositional phrase when you already have that independent clause before it. No need for that pause there. There are still some more between two things. And when I say two things, that can mean a lot of things. Two things can be 2 items in a list, so let's look here. They're actually a testament to the tree's remarkable genetics and adaptability. We only have 2, no need for any comma there. If I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, that's a different story with commas, but when it's only 2, don't worry about it. When we've got 2 verbs, the chemicals need to absorb nitrogen and keep above 20 degrees. Only 2, no commas. 2 subjects, the speaker and musicians began to tune before the show. Same thing with only 2. Or even 2 objects. Myers wrote an award-winning essay and a full-length novel that composed of about 400 pages. 2 direct objects, it's still only 2. So no need for a comma. Here's some practice exercises you can do in the packet with your answers all the way in the back. We're going to go over the sample question together though. Feel free to pause if you want to read through. But let's read this with the comma in place as is and see what it sounds like. Fascinated by the geometric designs, Quezada wondered if he could make pots like these. Right now we have a pause where it kind of sounded like we didn't need one, but let's see if we can identify what's going on to make this a little bit easier. So, Quezada wondered. Wondered is a verb. Earlier we mentioned you can never have a comma between a verb and its object. In this case, the object is the whole thought of if he could make pots like these. And right now there's a comma between them where there shouldn't be. So if we eliminate that comma, we can get it down to choices B and D. And our correct answer choice is actually going to be B, simply because this is not asking a question. Even though he's wondering something, that's a statement. He's wondering this. He's not posing a question of any sort. We've got one more challenge sample question if you want to go ahead, pause, and read through. But let's do the same thing where we read the sentence as is with the punctuation that is in place. The veterinary assistant called for my cat and me from the hallway that leads to the examination area. Well, if we read through, let's do a little bit of math in this English section. How many things do we have? The assistant called for my cat and me. We have my cat and me, and that's it, because then we just jump into a prepositional phrase. When you have 2 things, you don't need any commas between the 2. So the answer choice that eliminates all commas and is correct is going to be D, because also that leads to the examination area. We wouldn't have any commas before that because that is essential information to the sentence. You have a couple more ACT practice questions, but that's it for unnecessary commas.